guys, I'm Marie from Humblebee and Me, and today we are formulating something I'm calling a double butter conditioning hair mask. So I designed this to be really quite rich. It's got 2 lovely butters in it, some açaí berry oil, some great conditioning ingredients, and it's just a lovely treat for your hair. My initial inspiration for this formulation came from a product that one of my patrons, Bianca, brought to my attention, which was the hair mask that the company that makes the Bum Bum cream makes. And so I checked it out and like, oh, there are so many gorgeous butters in here, and I could use the dupe fragrance that I bought in this as well. And so I just pretty much as soon as I knew that existed, I knew I had to make my own sort of riff on it. Now, the one from the Bum Bum cream people had 3 butters in it and was called triple butter. I only had 2 of the butters, and I didn't have a third sort of South American Brazilian butter on hand, so I figured it would just 2 butters, double butter. I've got 3 gorgeous conditioning ingredients in here. We've got BTMS 50, so the conditioning part of that is behentrimonium methyl sulfate. That's what the BTMS stands for. We've got some cationic guar gum, and we have some polyquaternium 10. Even though the cationic guar gum and the polyquaternium 10 are water soluble, you will notice I've put them in the oil phase, and that is because they won't clump in the oil phase. So when they just nicely disperse throughout the oil phase, and then when we combine the 2 phases, then they get activated by the water, but we don't have to deal with them getting clumpy and annoying in the water phase. It's just off the table, which is very nice. The bulk of the oil phase of this hair mask is a blend of Cupuaçu butter and Murumuru butter. So these are 2 gorgeous, gorgeous butters. I love Cupuaçu butter. It is one of my all-time, long-time favorite butters. It has the most gorgeous, almost silicone-y feel on the skin, and it's just lovely. I did choose to use refined Cupuaçu butter in this formulation as the unrefined version. To describe it charitably, sort of smells like chocolate plus sour milk. I don't think it would really come through in the finished product because we've got a pretty good dose of fragrance in here, but not loving the smell of sour milk, I decided to err on the side of caution and use a refined product. How you're going to want to use this mask is going to have a lot to do with your hair in particular. So for example, I have type 1B hair using the Andre Walker extended hair typing system, and so it's not very tolerant of oils. So what I do with this mask is I like to apply it from about kind of here down to my hair. I'll put in about 50 grams of a batch in, so a pretty hefty amount. Clip it up with a big claw hair clip, leave it for a few hours. I'm like, I don't know, watching a movie or doing dishes, eating dinner, whatever. And then I'll take a shower before I go to bed. And I sure noticed when I woke up in the morning, my hair was just so voluptuous and shiny and gorgeous. But I needed to shampoo it out. I used my More Mango shampoo bar because I find it quite cleansing. I needed to really shampoo it out. Even though there is some Cocamidopropyl Betaine in here, that's just not enough kind of rinse out for me and for my hair. If your hair is more tolerant of oils, you might not need to shampoo it out. You might just be able to let the rinse out powers that are inherent to the product do that job. So I highly recommend kind of experimenting with how you like to use it. This could also work beautifully as a kind of rinse out in shower cream conditioner. Play around with it and try different things and see what makes you and your hair happy. There's not really a wrong way to use this. I would say maybe unless you end up with really stringy looking hair, in which case you probably need to add more wash out to your workflow. Play around with it, have fun. There's lovely conditioning, gorgeous ingredients in here. It's just sort of a matter of how much your hair needs at any given time. All right, I think that is enough chat. As always, please make sure you are reading the full partner blog post linked in the description box below this video. There's tons of great information in there, information on substitutions, scaling, shelf life, links to places to buy all the ingredients, and a whole lot more. But come on, let's get started. We'll begin by combining the ingredients for a heated water phase in a beaker. So in this beaker, I already have 51 grams of distilled water. To that, I'm going to add 10 grams vegetable glycerin and 4.5 grams Cocamidopropyl Betaine. Up next, we will combine the ingredients for a heated oil phase in a second beaker. So you'll need 6.5 grams of BTMS 50, 4 grams cetearyl alcohol, 10 grams Cupuaçu butter, 5 grams Murumuru butter, 3 grams açaí berry oil, 0.2 grams cationic guar gum, and 0.5 grams polyquaternium 10. Before we proceed, I'm going to weigh the water phase and note that weight, making sure to note that that weight also includes the spatula, and so this will allow us to replace any water lost to evaporation during heating. To heat everything through, I'm going to use a water bath. So this is a wide flat bottom saute pan that has about 1 inch or 3 centimeters of water in the bottom of it, and I'm going to go put this on the stovetop over medium heat for about half an hour to melt everything through and bring both phases to the same temperature. Once everything is heated through and melted, you can remove your water bath from the heat. So the first thing I'm going to do is replace any water that was lost to evaporation. So I'll just dry that off, pop it back on our scale, and then using a bit of preheated distilled water, we will bring this number back up to the one that we wrote down earlier. Give that a stir and pour it into our heated oil phase. To start blending with the mixture still in the water bath because the BTMS is already starting to solidify on us. All right, well, this is starting to look quite lovely and creamy and gorgeous. It is still also very warm, so I'm going to set this aside to cool while we weigh out our cool down phase. So our cool down phase is 4 ingredients. We have our preservative, an antioxidant, hydrolyzed baobab protein, and our fragrance. You'll need 0.5 gram of liquid Germall Plus for our preservative, 0.3 grams vitamin E, that's our antioxidant, 4 grams hydrolyzed baobab protein. And if you are looking for substitutions, please make sure you refer to the blog post linked in the description box below. And for our fragrance, I'm using this Bum Bum Cream dupe scent from the Sensational Soaping Supply. I discussed this in more detail with the Sun Bum body cream formulation I shared in January of this year. You can, of course, use anything that you like the smell of. So you're going to need 0.5 gram of this. And then we will set this aside for later. This is starting to thicken up really nicely as it cools, looking beautiful and creamy. Let's give this another blend. All right, well, this is gorgeously rich, and as you can see, quite thick. But it is still a wee bit too warm to incorporate our cool down phase. So I'm just gonna leave this to sit and continue to cool down for a few more minutes. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes and this has cooled down really nicely. So we're going to incorporate our cool down phase. I'll start by adding a dollop of product to the cool down phase we weighed out earlier. And then I'm going to whisk to combine. I like to kind of start with cutting it in a bit with the whisk before we start whisking too much so you don't make a big mess. All right. Now that is all mixed in, all that's left is packaging. For packaging, I'm going to use this clear screw top jar from Humblebee. This product is way too thick to try and put in a pump top bottle. And just look at it. Bloop. So we just made a really lovely double butter conditioning hair mask. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and please make sure you are reading the full partner blog post for this formulation linked in the description box below. You'll find a ton of extra super helpful information down there, including information on substitutions, scaling, shelf life, links to places to purchase all of the ingredients, and a whole lot more. But yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.